Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I will teach you negative index. Of course, there's a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. Before we start, remember from last video, we know that I to the power of negative n is equal to 1 over I to the power of n. So therefore, for first one, so what we do, we know that the whole lot, okay, not just x. So 2x, all of them, okay, power to negative 1. So what we need to do is we need to bring it down, the whole lot. So that will give me 1 over, so 2x to the power of 1. So anything power of 1 is equal itself. So I can also write like that, okay. So that means 1 over 2 to the power of x. So this one here, part B, so we know that only x is power of negative 1. So therefore, so we know that 5x to the power of 1 negative, so it's exactly the same as 5 times x to the negative 1. So from this rule, we know that this is exactly the same as 5 times 1 over x. So therefore, we go 5 times 1 is 5. So that is 5 over x. Otherwise, you can also interpret like that. Because 5 is just like 5 over 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. And then 1 times x is x. So the answer is 5 over x. So equal 5 over x. Part C. Again, so we know that 2x is positive index. So the only negative index is y to the power of negative 2. So what we need to do is we bring the y to the minus 2 down. So this is how it works, okay? So this is 2x times y to the minus 2. So this is exactly the same as 2x times 1 over y squared, if you like. So therefore, 2x is just like 2x over 1. So 2x times 1 is equal to 2x over, so 1 times y squared is y squared. So the answer is 2x over y squared. So there you go. Now part D. So remember the rule is I to the power of negative n is equal to 1 over I to the power of n. But then in this case, so the bottom or the denominator is negative for x to the power of negative 3. So let's say we have 1 over I to the power of negative n. So this one is exactly the same as 1 divided by I to the power of negative n, right? But then we know that I to the power of negative n is equal to 1 over I to the power of n from this rule here. But then when we divide by fractions, we need to flip the fractions and becomes multiply. So that will give me 1 times I power of n over 1. So that is exactly the same as I to the power of n. So in theory, please take note on this. 1 over I to the power of negative n is equal to I power of n. So please take note on this, okay? And now we can just go back to part D. So this means that is exactly the same as 4 over 5 times 1 over x to the power of negative 3. So from this rule, so this will give me 4 over 5 times x to the power of 3. So that will give me 4x power of 3 over 5. So part E. So the easiest way to sort it out is when the index is negative on numerator, you just bring it down so it becomes positive. When the index is negative on the denominator, you just bring it up and becomes positive. That's all you need to remember, okay? So this one here is only p to the power of negative 2. So I just bring this up. That's the easiest way to sort this out. So that becomes 1 times p squared. So 1 times p squared is p squared. So that will give me, let me just write this down. This is exactly the same as like this. P power of 2 over 3. So that will give me 1 times p squared is p squared and over 3. So there you go. Then next one. So we have y to the power of negative 3. So what we need to do is we just need to bring this down. So that becomes y to the power of 3. And whereas this one here, we have x to the power of negative 4. So we just bring this one up. So that becomes x to the power of 4. That's all we need to do, okay? Keep that in mind. That's the process. So much easier. So now the 4 will stay the same because 4 is already positive index. So the negative 4 for x power of negative 4, we'll bring it up. So it becomes times by x to the power of 4. Now over 7, we need to write it down because it doesn't do anything. It's exactly the same because 7 is already positive index. And same with z, okay? That is z power of 1, so it's already positive. So now the y to the power of negative 3, we bring it down, so it becomes positive, okay? So that means y to the power of 3. And I just simplify by get rid of the multiplying. So 4x power of 4 over 7z and y to the power of 3. There you go. Now part G. So again, okay, we just look at the negative index. If it's numerator, we bring it down to the bottom so it becomes positive index. That's all. If the denominator have the index negative, we bring it up to the top, which is numerator, so it become positive. We just switch aside. That's all it is, okay? So now in this case here, it's only p to the power of negative 5 is negative index. So we just need to bring it down so it becomes positive index. So what I do now, that will give me x to the power of 3 and y power of 6 z squared. So this one here, we bring it down. So become p to the power of 5. So there you go. H, that is equal to. So we're looking at this. So 3 to the power of negative 1. So we bring it down, becomes 3 to the power of 1. Okay. And for x power of negative 5. So we need to bring it down, become x to the power of 5. And we have n to the power of negative 3. So we need to bring it up to the top. So it becomes positive 3. So let me just write this down. So that give me the n power 4 stay the same. I write this down. This n to the negative 3, I bring it up, become positive. Just remember that, okay? And then now we just write this down. The 2, I write this down first. The 3 to the power of negative 1, I bring it down, becomes 3 to the power of 1. But 3 to the power of 1 is 3. So I write time in between, of course. And then the x to the power of negative 5, I bring it down. So that will give me x to the power of 5. Now I just need to tidy them up. So to do this, the numerator is already in simple form. M power 4, n to the power of 3. And we have 2 times 3. We need to simplify this first. And 2 times 3 is 6. So we just write 6 down. And then x to the power of 5, we just write this down. So there you go. So m to the power of 4, n to the power of 3 over 6x to the power of 5. Same rule apply in here. So you can see 2 to the power of negative 1. We need to bring it down, becomes 2 to the power of 1. So become 2. And then we have q to the power of negative 2. We need to bring it down, becomes q to the power of 2. Then we have 3 to the power of negative 1. We need to bring that up, so that becomes 3 to the power of 1. And we have r to the power of negative 5. We bring it up, becomes positive 5. So let me just write this down. So we have this, we bring it down. Let me just write this down first. Becomes 2. And this 3, we bring it up, become 3 to the power of 1. So it's 3. Now the p, we write it down. Power of 3. And the q, negative power of 2, we bring it down, becomes q power of 2. And then t power of 6, I write that down. And we have r to the power of negative 5, we bring it up. So it becomes r to the power of 5. So there you go. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How do you go? So let me go through them with you, okay? Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's go straight into it. First one. So we just need to write in positive index. To do this, we know that the y power of -2 is negative index. So what we need to do is we just need to bring it down. So it becomes positive index. So that will give me equal to x to the power of 3. And then we just need to bring it down. So that becomes y to the power of 2. So there you go. And second one. So we know that the whole lot, okay, power of -1. So therefore, we need to bring the whole lot down. So that will give me 1 over 3xy power of 1. But anything power of 1 is equal to itself. So therefore, we just clear this. So there you go. Now part C. So you can see only y to the power of -2 is negative index. So we just need to bring it down so it becomes positive index. So that will give me 2x power 5 over y squared. So there you go. Part D. So you can see the whole lot is power of negative index. So therefore, we just need to bring it down. So that will give me equal to 1 over 3p power 4 and q power 2 all power of -3 becomes 3. There you go. Now part E. So we can see s to power of -3. So we need to bring it down so it becomes positive. And this one here, 5m to the power of -2, we need to bring it up so it becomes positive. So that will give me, so the 3t squared stay the same. And the m to power of -2, I bring it up so it become m squared. Over, so that becomes 5 stay the same. And n to the power of 7 stay the same. So remember this one we need to bring it down. So it becomes, so s to the power of 3. There you go. Part F. So you can see a to the power of -2. And then we also have b to the power of -3. So therefore, both of them we need to bring it down so it becomes positive index. So let me just write this down. So that will give me 1 over, because the a power of -2 will bring down become positive 2. Similarly with b to the power of -3, we bring it down becomes positive 3. There you go. Part G. So what we need to do, so we can see this p to -2. So we need to bring it down, become positive. And we have q to power of -3. We bring it up so it becomes positive. So let me just write this down. So this one will bring it up so become q to the power of 3. And this p squared will bring down become p to the power of 2. So there you go. H. So you can see the whole lot power of -5. So we bring the whole lot down, okay? And whereas this one here, the denominator, we only have this to be bring it up because this only n to the power of -2. Only this one is negative index. So we bring it up. So that will give me n to the power of 2 and the m power of 5 I write it down. And this one we need to bring it down. So become 2xy to the power of 5. There you go. Last one. So we have x to the power of -3 is negative. So as q to the power of -2. And we have both of these negative. So we just need to bring it up. And the other one, we bring it down. Okay. So that will give me the 3. We write it down. So the y power of -5, we'll bring it up, become 5. The z power of -4, we bring it up, become power of 4. And then the 2, we write it down. And then the x to the power of -3, we bring it down, become positive 3. And the q to the power of -2, we bring it down, become positive. There you go. I hope you got all of them correct. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.